Hello and welcome back to another episode of You Want to Do What. Today we've got Justin on, who is a game developer. Hi, Justin.
Hey,
How are we today?
yeah, I'm really good. I'm having a great time. It's quite warm. And since I'm riding a motorcycle, it's all we want, right?
That's it. Justin, let's jump straight in. Do you want to tell everyone a bit about what you do?
Yes, well, I'm Justin. I'm from the Netherlands and I am a full-time game developer. I work at quite a big social multiplayer online games company, which really is a mouthful. We mainly make social casino and casual games like card games, and our biggest game is bingo. So yeah, that's a bit of the range we're in, mainly targeting to older female target, which
Sure.
is a lot of fun as well because you're used to the games which all the youth are interested in, like big AAA games or shooter games, console
Yeah.
games, and this is a whole other market, and it's really interesting to be in it, to be honest.
So what made you go into game development?
Well, that's actually quite another funny story. It's a bit of sad story as well. It's literally went by accident.
Oh, really?
When I was young, I was always into gymnastics and I was doing pretty decent. Yeah, well when I was 15 years old, I broke my knee by accident with gymnastics, and then I've been in the hospital for 3 days. And at the time, I didn't really play that much games, but I was playing RuneScape at the time. And well, if you're 15 years old and you were like
Yes, we all played
doing pretty
RuneScape.
good in sports, yeah, of course. But if you were pretty good in sports, you get quite bored being behind the computer fast. But I had nowhere to go. My leg was fully disabled, so I was in the hospital for 3 days, and I think after a few hours of playing RuneScape all day, I was trying to research how it was made. It went basically by I was playing a private server at the time. There was a community. It was called Moperscape, and that also had a forum. And on that forum, I somehow got into touch with people who wanted to tell me how to set up my own private server. And that was actually all the beginning in the hospital with my leg fully blocked, fully locked up. I was just creating my very first private server to just create things into a game I really like to play. Just by copy pasting things from the forums, it wasn't really that special. But for me at that time, it felt really special. And as you might can imagine, if you're 15 years old and you break your knee, and my biggest passion was gymnastics at the time, I had quite a big struggle with the question of what next, what am I going to do after high school. And I remember very well that my brother told me that he had two classmates of him. I was in the third year and he was in his last year. And he said, like, yeah, I have two classmates who are going to do game development in Amsterdam. I thought, like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I researched about it and I did a trial class and I was immediately in love. I knew this was my new passion, and this was, it almost felt like breaking my knee was meant to get me on this new path. And yeah, the rest is history. Actually, from that on, I fully dedicated myself to chase this goal and become a full-time game developer I am today.
Wow. So when you went to Amsterdam, were you doing a college course or university, or what was that?
It's an associate degree in game development.
Wow. Okay.
You start out as a start of web and game development, and at the first half year, you have to choose which direction you want to go. If you want to go fully into games or fully into web. And I chose game development because that was what I already wanted to get into.
So how was it
it
getting?
was a great way to.
How was it getting that degree and then getting your first job? Was that difficult? How did you sort of manage that?
Well, my first job is also at my first internship. When I was in third grade, we had to go on an internship, and I got into touch with this company with GamePoint by a conference. I had a free ticket from school, and we could all go to that conference. And then I got in touch with them, and they were interested in me. And I remember a few weeks later, I was there as an intern prototype developer, creating new ideas they had in mind in the office, which was a lot of fun. And after that, I did another internship at another company. I was offered to stay at GamePoint as an intern for my second year, but I decided to do a different field. I went to the Dutch Aerospace Center at that time.
Oh, wow.
Which was mainly working on augmented reality games. But I wasn't that interested in AR and VR, but because I knew I was an intern, I have like 1.5 year I can try it out. If I'm done with school, if I have my degree, or if I'm graduated, I don't have the luxury to just try a job out for 5-6 months. So I really wanted to do something, which I thought I didn't like, to just confirm my feeling and to know which direction I wanted to go in after my graduation. And right after I graduated, I messaged my old manager again and immediately got hired. And now I'm there for almost 4 years as a full-time game developer.
Wow. And so what's an average day like then for a game developer? I assume there's a lot of coding involved or things like that.
Yeah, for me it's a lot of code. We don't have the flexible hours, so I work from 9 to 6, and we have about an hour of lunch break in between. But the days varies a lot. We always have our stand-up at 9:30. So and then we just talk about all the tasks we did yesterday and we're gonna do today, and from that on we continue. And I work together with 2 other programmers in my team, and a designer and artist. And we basically sit there. Well, now with COVID, we have calls about it. But pre-COVID, we were just sitting together and talking about the ideas and the concepts and the features we were working on to add to our games.
So is your job, for want of a better word, to take these ideas from people like the artists or the storyboarders or whoever and turn that into actual code that would create that in the world, in the game?
Yeah, well, we have like in our company we have product owners who are like the managers. Each manager or each department has a product owner, which is also the manager of the team. And he talks with our CEO, which is like basically our client, and they discuss about which features are going to be added. And from time to time we have which we call design talks in our team, where we just fire all the ideas we get from things we see in other games or things we want to adapt from other games, which are cool and could be interesting, but then in a whole different way in our game. And then we just think them out. And we also have some game designers in other teams who then sometimes help out to provide the correct economy, so the economy is being balanced with the features. And that way we just walk them through and then later create them.
And what kind of skill sets does somebody need to be a really good game developer?
Problem solver, and mathematics is also really important, but that's also what scares a lot of beginner game developers. It did for me too, but it's more you have to like math. It's not that you have to be good at it. It's just if you like math and you're a good problem solver, you're gonna do great. Because if you know how to search certain algorithms which you need for, or modules you need for a certain problem, you will get there, even though you are not sure about how to do all the math yourself.
So is there something that somebody could do that's listening to this that wants to be a game developer? Obviously, you went down the route of going to university, but there are now ways you can learn code without going to university, right? Like Free Code Camp is one of them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, for me, I think Khan Academy is a great one to start. It's just a free course platform to get into programming. I especially would recommend to do some physics style or some physics based courses. For example, vector mathematics, which are really important in games, just to get the understanding of it. And then I would just suggest you to go through YouTube, because there there's so much variety you can choose for. I can't direct you to say like, oh, you have to. Uh, yeah, so if someone wants to be a 2D mobile developer, I can't ask him to create a 3D system in C++, but also the other way around. So it's really feeling your own interest and start small, think big, start small, and yeah, it's just go your way through. Just try to find, for example, a tic-tac-toe game is a great starter game. Try to find it on YouTube. Follow a few tutorials. Try to experiment with it. That's, I think, the biggest tip I can give to everyone, to keep experimenting. A lot of beginner game developers are following a tutorial and then they created it, put it on the portfolio like they made it, but they just followed it. But you have to continue after. If you made tic-tac-toe just playing against yourself, try to figure out how to create an AI for it. Try to figure out how to expand the tic-tac-toe game. There's so much to add. Try to add maybe a three-dimensional tic-tac-toe, which has maybe four, so like nine boxes instead of what is it? Well, you get my point out.
Yeah, it's such an exciting industry, isn't it? The world of gaming, and it's growing rapidly. It's either just
Absolutely.
overtaken the movie industry, or it's about to, in revenue.
Yeah.
And it's a great place to be, right? The opportunities are vast within mobile gaming, traditional gaming, and everything like that.
Absolutely. And it's also a lot of fun. I mean, like for me, I just do what I love, and you just follow your interest. That's all I can say. Just try to create things you really want to create, and not because someone's told you to do so. And well, maybe there are some directions you can ask from people, but then still try to find your own, create your own path in it.
Is there anything in particular that you sort of dream of making or working on in the future?
Well, not really, actually, to be honest. I'm actually quite happy with the things I create at the moment. I would
Amazing.
love to create some console games in the future, but we'll see. We'll see how that will go. But for now, I'm really happy in the mobile gaming industry, and done some web games as well, and really
Amazing.
enjoying the time.
And for you, what would be the biggest positive of working in game development?
To do what you love, actually. Yeah, it sounds very, very cliche, but
Yeah.
it really is. It's also the industry is full of passionate people. So everyone like we always say, all developers are on one boat, and it really feels like that. You all are connected. If you met any other game developer in another company, you immediately have this connection with each other because you have the same interest, and that's something which I think is priceless in this industry.
And on the flip side of that, what would be one of the negative things about the industry?
I think that is more. It's quite a how do you say it? Like it's mentally it can be a tough job because you're constantly solving problems day in day out. So it can be mentally exhausting, but there it's just trying to find a balance in what's good for you, when to take breaks, and because you get quite fast caught up in this tunnel vision of keep continuing, and then you are
Yeah.
just developing for maybe 14 hours straight and forgot forgot to have lunch, and then yeah, that you can get quite easily in a burnout that way. So that's something which is sometimes quite concerning,
Yeah.
and maybe some companies also should take more time in or invest more time into to watch on their employments or employers. But
And what would be a skill or something you have to deal with in your day-to-day job that you never expected to have to deal with?
that I never expected.
Yeah.
I found it a tough question, because to be honest, I had nothing to expect.
That's okay.
Because
Yeah.
I came from a family who had nothing with technology. I don't even have anyone in my family who ever wrote any code in their life. So
So
yeah,
it's
that's
all new to you, basically.
yeah, I all had to figure it out myself, and I just went in and I enjoyed it, and I'm still enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And how does somebody sort of, once they're in the gaming world, gaming development world, how do they progress? Is it just working on bigger projects or developing different skills within different areas of gaming?
Well, it's to progress or to actually to make progress, you should really express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important to talk. I see a lot of developers, and like myself, are often introverted and um, get quite fast caught up in something we call code monkeys, which are literally just put up to do maintenance work and don't really get challenging features. But if you
Mm-hmm.
really just raise your voice and say what you think and come with ideas, which we all have because we are passionate about games. So I never met any developer who didn't had any ideas to add. So
Mm.
it's really important to just talk about it. Or if you're not that much into game design, to add new features, think about how to make the system better. There are many ways to express yourself in, and the nicest thing with game development is you can just do it on your company's chat system. Maybe you have Slack or Discord. It's all Verizon or Teams, Microsoft Teams. Just
Mm.
we are often those introverted code monkeys are really good in talking online. So use that skill set from you from talking online also in your company to express yourself and get your ideas through. That I think that will make you grow really fast.
Mm. And I mean, your social media account is how we found you. Is that
Yeah.
something that somebody who's thinking about getting into game development can use as sort of a portfolio and show what they're doing or what they're learning or what they've coded recently?
I'm not really sure. Well, it's really nice to have a social media platform to share your journey.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, it was also mainly for myself. I also write a lot of motivational posts, which also were to motivate myself, and I thought to also motivate others with it,
Mm.
which which kind of exploded in my in my way. But yeah, I don't know. For example, I never expected I'm now at 35,000 followers, and I never expected to even get 10,000 followers, to be honest. So
Yeah,
it,
so
it
cool.
yeah, and it all went by itself, and I just shared the path I took and the struggles I went through, and just trying to to tell others the mistakes I made to don't let them make the same mistakes I make.
Mm. And would you still go into this industry knowing everything you know now?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, you sound like you
Yeah,
absolutely just love it. It's completely your
I
passion.
I always say, like, even though the breaking my knee was my most tragic event in
Mm.
my whole life, if I could go back to that time, I think I would do nothing different.
Mm.
I don't want to change how it went right now, even though were some tough years. I cannot lie about that. I mean, like, if you 15 years old and you're in the middle of your puberty, of your puberty,
Mm.
it's hard to lose a passion like that. And I've been in a wheelchair in and out for almost 3 years. So yeah, you lose a lot of your youth, but now I see I gained so much from it, and it also gave me this mindset to keep being dedicated and driven, and to be able to drive myself to keep pursuing your goals, even though it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Justin, and telling us all about the world of game development. It's been super interesting.
Awesome. I really enjoyed to be on your show. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, pleasure. And where can people find you on Instagram, Justin?
It's hard to pronounce. It's Justin Bieshaar. I cannot pronounce it otherwise. But I think if you type in Justin Scott and then Bies, Bies, and not many people will most likely first find Justin Bieber, and I'm second option is Justin Bieshaar. So
That's quite cool.
I think you can find me like that.
Brilliant. Well, thank you again, Justin.
Okay, thank you too. See ya.